Chipadelphia, somebody says in the chat.
Who cares?
We only have 3 people viewing so far. This is ridiculous. Chip, you're supposed to bring
That's good.
more viewers.
There's 15.
My kids are being very loud upstairs.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Chip, can I tell you, you have the ideal balance of silver and dark. It's looking good. You got a daddy look going on.
Thanks. It's not going to stay that way forever.
Chip, how old are you?
I am 45. You?
Ugh, I just turned 40.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's rough. I think we're live right now.
We are live.
Comics are
live.
comics are a hard business.
All right. Do we want to just go? Let's just go.
No, we don't even want to do the show.
Well, I say before we waste any more fucking golden conversation.
All right. We're countdown. You ready to record, Chip?
Chip, do you have your recorder up?
What? Oh. Like what? Like QuickTime? What am I doing?
Yeah, QuickTime, whatever. You know how this works. You have a manga podcast.
Yeah, but we do it with a professional.
What just happened?
So I don't have to do that. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
The fans are calling you local boob for some reason, Chip. Is there anything you'd like to say for that to them about that?
Just a second. I gotta fucking do this thing. New audio recording. Here we go. All right, I'm recording. Oh
no,
cannot.
We gotta count down.
Says it can't record.
Yeah, we gotta count down, Chip.
Jesus, just a second.
God damn it. Are you ready?
Right. Sure, maybe.
Okay. On go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Boom! Recording. Beautiful.
How do we look?
I'm recording.
Okay, perfect. Let's just go right into it. Hello, everyone. This is Stegman and his amazing friends, and I regret to inform you it's a special guest episode.
Mm-hmm.
I am one of the people that's usually here, one of the producers and Supple Boys, Ethan Parker, and this is Ryan Stegman's podcast. Hi, Ryan.
Hi.
How are you doing this week?
It'd be better if Griffin was here with his high energy intro, but you're doing okay.
Griffin's energy has exponentially decreased over the
That's
last 2 years.
That's a fact.
We're both growing disillusioned. And that won't stop tonight, because tonight we got a special guest on the show. Chip, he's back. Chip Zdarsky. How's it going, man?
Where's Griffin?
Listen, I don't mean to call him out, but he's at the movies.
So you see in Black Widow.
You're shitting me.
No.
Yeah.
Somebody on Twitter called him out because he said he wasn't going to be there tonight, and they said, yeah, I'm seeing Black Widow too.
He said he had a prior engagement, and then a listener said, yeah, I'm seeing Black Widow too.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's not fireable.
But no, it's not fireable. It's on brand. He's such a nerd that he has to go on day one.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it.
He did tell me that he had options for when he was going to see the movie, and he did pick tonight because he didn't want to see you, Chip.
He tried to get us to honestly, he tried to get us to move the whole thing so that he could go see Black Widow. Remember? Oh, I texted you. Remember when I was like, "Hey, can you do Tuesday?" And then I found out that Ethan was like, "Well,
Tuesday is better for me. Tuesday is great for me."
You didn't say that. And then Ethan replied and said, "Well, I can't do it on Thursday." So I was like, "What the hell are we doing here? Why haven't you guys talked?" So I had to immediately message Chip back and be like, "It's because the producers are idiots. They didn't talk this out." And now here we are. And you made a fool of me in front of Chip. Chip Zdarsky.
That's the last thing you want to do.
Right. Chip, the writer and creator of the series Crossover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and artist,
right.
if I am correct.
Chip, where did the idea for this series Crossover come from? It's a really unique idea.
Well, thanks. I mean, I gotta tell you, the idea really came from the fact that I don't feel like my ideas can stand up on their own.
Okay, yeah.
So I decided to do a thing where I just play off of the popularity of other people's characters.
Right.
You're like, I'm gonna Ready Player One this shit. That's what you were thinking.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I did go see Ready Player One and then immediately pitch this to Image. So you're not far off.
It worked out.
You're actually completely correct.
I mean, now that we're on the subject of crossover, you know, we're all joking aside. You did write an issue, and I'd like to know how do you think you did on that issue?
Mm-hmm.
It's not for me to judge.
Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. I have a number in mind.
I try to bring my best to every single thing I do.
Mm-hmm.
Comics, cooking, lovemaking, it doesn't matter. Like you always, if you're gonna do something, do it right?
Mm-hmm.
So all I can say is my effort was 10 out of 10.
Okay.
Okay.
I did feel like you tried your best. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the final product, like that's really, it's impossible for me to divorce what I put into it versus the final product.
Okay.
So I leave that to, I leave it to history to decide, and I leave it to the Eisner Committee to decide next year.
Was Donnie like needing more time as far as like working on the next issues, and he was like, "Could you just come in and just bang one out?"
Or is it a case where you are allowed to just force your way into any book you want? Is that what's
you become? That right?
I mean, I have that like in my contract with Image. I have that clause, but I haven't used it. Like, and I didn't even use it here. You know, Donnie basically said he called me. It was like 4 a.m, and he was just like, you know how you can tell someone's sweating on a phone call even though you can't see them? Mm-hmm. It was like that, and he was like, I don't know what to do. This has been a massive bomb.
Mm-hmm. Hasn't sold.
And
he only characters in it from other people's stuff.
Well, he has to pay for those characters. He didn't think about that.
He's losing money on this.
So
wow.
he's technically losing money every time he introduces another popular character. So yeah, he was flailing, and he said, "I need the sales bump. A lot of ideas. Would you please fill in for an issue, and leave my name on it." So I wrote the issue, and then what happens? I write the issue, and it was just gonna be by Donnie. Like it was just gonna say by Donnie, even though I wrote the issue. But the editor and the publisher of Image, they looked at it and they're like, "Well, there's no way Donnie wrote this. It's so good."
Right.
Yeah.
So the jig was up. Donnie came clean and said that I wrote it, and yeah, that's how it happened.
And a lot of it is about you, so it would be weird if he did write it.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Like, the fact that he even attempted to pass it off as his own was a little weird, but desperate times.
Do you think, or did you find out at all if Phil Hester had any problem working with you because of that stuff that's been going on Twitter with you?
You know what? Luckily for me, Phil really only focuses on like original comic book art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
And I don't.
Right.
As you know, I don't create original comic art. I don't buy it. I don't understand it. That's with evidence in our discussion with Felix. So he was fine with it. The only thing he was upset about was all the reference material I sent him.
Right.
Because I was sending him probably about 30, 40 pictures a day over the period of a month.
Of your face from different angles and everything?
No.
Yeah.
It's always straight on, because I think that's how people like to see me, because it means I'm coming towards them, which for them is a blessing.
Yeah.
I thought you really captured the desperation in your eyes. I thought that was...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a common misconception. It's not the desperation of my eyes. It's always the desperation that I'm mirroring back to somebody. It's you're seeing your desperation in my eyes reflected back, because you're desperate.
That's really interesting.
I felt like he did such a good job that, like, while I was reading it, I could smell you.
I mean, I do smell like comic book paper and ink. So
that'd be amazing.
I really liked the issue. There was a line that I particularly liked where you mentioned that in Sex Criminals, you went for what all the hacks eventually go for, which is going meta.
Mm-hmm.
Is that why a story like this appeals to you?
Well, I mean, look, clearly what I was doing there is cutting myself down a little bit,
Sure.
just so other people can't come in and do that to me.
Uh-huh.
And that's me mocking others who do this poorly. Whereas I did it, I hope, better than Grant
You had
Morrison
to name names.
did.
Who's done it poorly?
Grant Morrison, Animal Man.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's like the classic.
Everybody says, yeah.
Yeah, everyone read
really
it, they hit that page, and they're like, no.
Right.
Like that's the one that I like to think of.
Okay, change of topic. Somebody wants to know how you wipe, sitting or standing.
Oh yeah, important question.
Sitting.
What kind of bed what kind of bed do you have?
You don't want any?
Oh, you can go into
I
detail.
did
No, it's
want to
fine.
answer it. You seemed uncomfortable with it.
Yeah, you just
it's
you
fine.
started squirming and you kind of have flop sweat going on.
Oh, he's showing us.
Yeah, when I do it, it's like
Do you do like a lean?
this is how I shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hand here, hand here.
You gotta brace yourself.
And I push it out.
Okay.
Then I grab whatever paper's around. I just grab it.
Okay.
Usually from a
Parchment. Papyrus.
Yeah. And it's just like this. It's just a bit of this, right?
Oh, you do a lean forward. That's interesting.
Oh yeah, that is interesting. That seems kind of
It's technically
gross.
sitting.
It's a lean and a twist because you're leaning, but when you twist like this, your buttocks spread farther apart, just on their own.
I guess we need to diversify.
You don't have to do it by yourself. You don't have to like pull your buttocks apart. Like it just kind of naturally happens when you do that. So you just take the paper.
We've been acting like it's a dichotomy between sitting and standing, but I think the question should more so be, where do you reach from? Is it from the back or the front or the side?
I can't get past my dick.
Okay.
It's almost impossible.
Well, I can see that.
It.
Yeah. That's a lot of work.
Was there any point where you wanted Phil Hester to? You were like, could we do a nude scene?
No. I mean, there's a rating on the book, and I have to respect the rating.
Abigail Mendoza asks, "Do you wash your legs in the shower?"
I've never washed my legs.
I agree with you. I let the soap run down, and I just assume it gets taken care of.
Yeah, gravity.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much time do you have to like wash your legs?
Yeah, I don't do it. I do have great legs, so I do like to feel them up as much as possible, but I don't need to do that with soap.
I'm a simple man. I do pits, genitals, but that's basically it.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, tell me about your bed.
My bed. Okay. Well, right now I'm on the West Coast, so I don't actually have my bed. My bed in Toronto is a king size. It's like a Sleep Country Canada model. There's nothing super fancy about it. I bought with my wife. We bought like an organic rubber bed for a variety of reasons.
What?
A few years ago, and it was far too expensive.
Okay.
Like way too expensive, and was never comfortable. But they're supposed to last like 50, 60 years. So we sold that. We just got like a basic bed. I like a headstand that has like options.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean by that?
You mean like where you can sit up or?
Sure, but like also like options.
I gotcha. Right.
You know, like little games. You want to play little games with your your headboard. Well, handcuffs or ties.
Well, the reason I asked,
you can hold on to.
I came from the Sleep Number bed today, or store today, and I'm considering getting one. What do you think?
What is it?
A Sleep Number bed.
What's the Sleep Number?
You can adjust the firmness on either side. So my wife and I would have her side, I would have my side. You can adjust the firmness. It keeps you cool. You can lift the it lifts up so you can like sit up and read. Or you can have your legs up.
Well, obviously, everybody's going to want to know, Ryan, what is your sleep number?
I don't know yet. We're still deciding if we're getting it. My wife now wants to do research on other mattresses. I want
this.
Find
out what your sleep number is before you get the bed.
No, because you adjust it.
You adjust it.
Okay. It's 0 to 100.
Yeah, I don't think that would work for my wife and myself because we're all over the bed. Like we don't really believe in individual sleeping.
Have you guys ever exploded a mattress?
Exploded a mattress? No, I don't. Wow, have you?
Of course, like a couple times a year.
Is it the kind of thing where like springs pop out the side?
It like makes a big like cartoonish poof sound, and then
there's feathers going everywhere.
Yeah, there's feathers all over the room, and we fall on the ground, and we just continue rolling around in the feathers, and
it sounds like
we ignore it.
Have luck with a waterbed.
That sounds like the worst idea. That sounds like it would explode and flood my room. Now, to be fair, my mattresses are generally just grocery bags with feathers in them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and where is that on a firmness rating?
That would be probably a 20 on the firmness rating of the.
Yeah, nice and soft.
Okay. Anyway, I don't have anything else to talk about. So thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, that was a great. It's been good.
Why are you on the West Coast right now?
Well, originally we were just.
Is it true that your wife left you?
Are you guys spending time apart?
I texted that in confidence.
That's true. You did. And you said, "Don't bring this up on the show, please." And then I said, "I won't." And then I wrote back in parentheses for the first 15 minutes. We're at minute 16:30, and here we are. And we want to get into Steve Murray. We're done with Chip Zdarsky. We want Steve Murray on this podcast.
Yeah.
I think the pandemic's been hard on a lot of us.
Maybe if we get Steve on the show, we can have a real conversation.
It's time to get raw.
Yeah. You're kind of... you don't really know things are wrong when you're in it.
Right.
And the day-to-day just feels okay, right? Because you've got your routines, but you don't really notice the other person just kind of drifting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Our priorities shifted a lot during this time. And
do you miss her?
It's been 2 days.
She left you though, explicitly, right? Did you grovel?
No, you want to be understanding, because there's a chance of reconciliation.
So you plan to grovel?
But she needs her time. She needs to figure out what she wants.
I don't know that you should have brought this up.
Yeah, you know what? This was maybe a bad idea. You're right, Ethan.
Maybe I work too much. Maybe I do too many podcasts.
Right.
It's really not this kind of show. This is Ryan said to me what he wants to be doing more of is kind of like the Joe Rogan of the comic book podcasting world.
I wanted to do. I told Ethan that this was going to be kind of a gotcha interview.
Right. Kind of Joe Rogan-y. Like, do you have any drug stories, Chip?
Maybe I could have listened to her better.
How much cocaine have you done in your life?
Maybe I could have been more understanding over the years when she was having trouble at work.
Chip, can I tell you a story about what I did yesterday that really pissed my wife off?
That would actually really cheer me up. Thanks.
So I said, let's go out to dinner tonight, and then we'll come home and we'll watch Cruella with the boys. We went out to dinner, and I got home and just really didn't want to watch Cruella. Like, just didn't want to. But I didn't really say anything. I just started playing Zelda, and the boys were watching, and we were all like yelling and playing Zelda. And like they were having a great time, so I just kind of like forgot about that whole situation. And then Aaron stormed through the room about an hour and a half later.
Wow.
And I had to apologize all night. And I was like, oh yeah, that was a dickhead thing to do. And like, of course I don't know what I'm doing when I'm doing it because I'm a moron.
Now, did you admit to her that you knew what you were doing?
I didn't really know what I was doing. I just put it on. I was doing the. All right, for anybody listening to the show, and you've played Zelda, have you played Zelda, Chip?
When I was fucking 7.
So there's this thing called the Master Sword Trials, and they're really hard, and you can't.
Let him finish.
You can't save during it. It's one of the parts of the game where you can't save. So I didn't realize it was going to take me an hour and a half, and I also thought I was going to die right away, and I would have turned it off right away. So I thought, I'm going to play for 10 minutes, we're all going to get a thrill out of it, and then we'll watch Cruella. Well, I got further on it than I ever had. I ended up beating it, and it ended up having to take an hour and a half. Should I get my wife down here? She can tell you all about it. She would love to.
Yeah.
So when you beat it, what happens?
Your Master Sword power goes from 40 to 50.
No, sorry. I meant in your life, in your real life.
In real life.
My wife loves me less?
Okay, so when I was, this reminded me when I was.
Yes, it's Breath of the Wild. Everybody's asking. Okay, go ahead.
I want to say when I was 15 or 16, I was heavily into video games because that's the time of your life when you're supposed to be. And,
wait, when you were 15 or 16, what were you playing? Pitfall? Pong?
Were you doing the stick and hoop game?
You fucker. I was playing Mega Man 2
Uh-huh.
on Nintendo, and I was right at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like it's one of those games where like if you pause it in that final fight and then unpause it, you just die because everything's flying at you. It's all crazy. So I remember feeling like, oh fuck, I gotta take a shit. But I'm just not going to. I'm just not going to because I gotta beat this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I powered through, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I don't have to take a shit. This is great. Great feeling. And I beat the game. I'm just like, this is the best thing I've ever done in my life, which is probably how you felt last night.
Yeah.
And then I stood up and I just felt the shit in my underwear. I just felt it just like pull away.
Like because as you were standing up, it was coming out. You had been putting enough pressure.
Up, like the underwear is just kind of like moving, and the shit like, you can just feel it between my buttocks and my underwear. And I realized, I just fully shit myself. And my parents were upstairs. I was just so embarrassed. So I quickly showered, changed, took my underwear, put it in a plastic bag, walked down the street, threw it out in a trash can on the street corner. Just pretended like nothing was wrong.
That
now
sounds
this is feeling like the Joe Rogan.
definitely like something I would do.
That's when my wife left me 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
She brought up that story as an example of me ignoring a problem.
Yeah.
You didn't know the shit was there till it was too late.
Because she was there, you said. She was your girlfriend at 15, and she was watching you play video games. Because that's the type of boyfriend you were.
Yeah, instead of the type of husband you are.
Yeah.
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 Chip,
well, Ryan, you should have watched Cruella. It's a great film.
I kind of want to, but I kind of want to see it in the theater because I know that it's going to have like all the bells and whistles, and I don't think that I'll really enjoy the story that much. Anyway, Chip,
you need to go all out. You need to be like, you need to plan a Cruella night where you get a limo, and the limo pulls up, and you, the boys, and your lady, you get in that limo, you go to Cruella.
Go to one of those 4D cinemas where you can smell it.
And then we'll go, and I'll sit down, and I'll pull out my Nintendo Switch and start playing it while the...
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
I have a question, Chip. When you would play video games as a kid, do you remember how hot your face would get? Or was that just because I was sitting too close to the TV?
My face didn't get hot, but my eyes hurt.
Yeah.
Like I remember that a lot.
I would get like migraines from it.
Yeah.
But
you gotta keep going.
But I would play. I guess I was sitting too close. I don't know. But I always think about that when you say that about Mega Man 2 or anytime that I was getting nervous in a video game, like when I was beating Mario 2 for the first time or whatever, my face would just get like so hot.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Well, it's the kind of thing where like I don't know if you have like emulators or anything like that now. Like my wife, when we were together, she bought one of those mini NESs where you could play all the classic games.
Yeah.
And so we were playing like, I don't know, it's like Mario 2, Mario 3 or something. And then, I died. I'm like in level, world 3, 2 or whatever, and I died. And the thought of having to start over,
Oh my god.
I was like, holy shit, how did I ever do this as a kid? Like the amount of stress
Yeah.
that I put myself through getting to the end of a thing, knowing that if I died, like hours are gone.
Well, they didn't know the whole trick, that they do now, which is just like give you small rewards and you just keep going the whole time. Because like that was the built-in failsafe where I could only play a game for, an hour or two because you would quit. You'd be like, "No way I'm playing that again."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just did all that. And then you shut it off. Now they have everything set up where you just never turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah, and you feel like you're amazing at it.
my kids
I'm
have
sorry to bring it
left
all
me.
back to you shitting your pants, but is that the latest that you shit your pants was 15, or were there more times after that?
I'm being completely honest with you. Yeah, that was the last time I shit my pants.
Okay.
Why? Do you have a recent one? Like you're making a motion.
This is a podcast,
It's a
Ethan.
yes.
I mean, we don't have. I mean, we don't have to get into it, but it's.
No,
you
you
said
actually
that.
asked me.
I felt a
You
certain
asked me,
kinship
so
with
I'm
you.
asking you.
Like I'll say recent.
How recent?
I think we have some chat questions. People want to
how-
know, Chip, why all the horror recently? Are you all right?
Hold on, Ethan. How old are you?
I am 23.
That may have been the last. That may have been around. That was probably right around the age that I last crapped myself. Although I
Okay,
did
that
have
makes
a
me feel
stomach
better.
flu once where I got a little on the couch.
Just a little.
You got like poop on the couch?
I tried to fart. It was a tiny bit. Is this a bad podcast?
I think it's a great
I
podcast.
don't think so. I think it's pretty solid. Horror.
Yeah.
No, not really. I'm just kind of.
You're just liking it?
I think
I like writing different things.
horror is underused, utilized in comics. I think it's one of the best things that comics can do.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool. I think that most creative people are drawn to horror.
Agreed.
It's so closely aligned to comedy.
Yes, absolutely.
Because they both rely on the surprise element of things. So, yeah, and it's not like I'm even like a huge horror guy. Like I didn't, I watched like the standard like 80s horror movies when I was growing up. Freddy Krueger and Jason and all that. But I'm not like super into it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that kind of thing. Once you get an idea and it kind of sticks, you're just like, oh, okay, well that's the new comic, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Is there any I'm sorry if you've answered this a million times. Is there any collaboration between the different teams that are on Silver Coin, or is that all completely separate?
It's pretty separate. Like Michael Walsh, who's the artist and kind of the project head of that, he basically just told us like, do whatever you want as long as it involves a coin, and we all pitched it to each other in an email thread, and everyone was cool with what everyone else was doing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's super open. It's a fun book just because like normally an anthology like that revolves around a writer, so having it revolve around an artist like Michael is pretty great.
Super exciting.
I'd like to see you do that, Ryan.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's really cool because there's kind of a horror comics renaissance going on right now. I think it just feels like there's a new one every week. There's like a new really exciting horror comic. To me, Ice Cream Man has really pushed like what comics.
Okay, Ethan, shut up for a second. When's the last time you pooped your pants?
Yeah.
I don't want to I don't know why you keep pushing me for this.
You're the one that started it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I was trying to very gracefully feel out what you guys' situations were, and if certain things were normal and certain things were,
Look, Ryan literally just said when he was your age, you shit the couch.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you can say what you've done.
Ethan, say it or you're fired.
sometime-
You're fired. I will
Okay,
hang up on your
Really,
end.
sometime last night because I woke up this morning and
I'm sorry, Ethan. Okay. Chip, have you watched the new season of I Think You Should Leave yet?
Yes,
trying to talk about comic books.
I've only watched 3 episodes, but how good has it been so far?
It's unbelievably good.
I can't believe it.
It's one of those. It's one of those shows where I tried to pace myself. I think I watched the first 4, and then saved the last 2 for yesterday. But I'm already rewatching my favorite ones. I'm already going back and like rewatching them. I forget. Have you hit the Capitol Room yet?
No. What? Give me one more hint.
Shark Tank.
Yes.
Shark Tank one.
Where she says that's all the money I'll ever have, and it's just gonna keep going down and down until I die.
Yeah.
God, that show's amazing.
I can't stop drinking wine.
Yeah, I was crying laughing during the one where he. This is terrible podcasting, but who cares? Where he wears all the prosthetics and he goes into the mall. We did too much. And he starts saying, "I don't want to be here anymore." I was like sobbing laughing when he was doing that.
So good, like it's like his style of comedy is like a throwback to like kind of the. Like I was a big kind of Adam Sandler guy when like Happy Gilmore came out.
Yeah.
That style of comedy where you're just like, where you can just go from 0 to 100 really quickly.
Right.
And you're kind of a monster, but you're also kind of lovable. Like Tim Robinson just does that straight through everything, and it always works.
Well, well, I guess there's been good sketch shows, but it feels like there hasn't been a really great sketch show in a while. Although, Key and Peele is good, but that's been a little while now, right?
Yeah. Have you, looking at your hat, have you watched Detroiters?
Oh my God. Yes, of course.
It's so fucking good.
I know.
Sam Richardson is probably my favorite humor actor right now.
Yeah, he's really funny.
Between him on Detroiters, him on Veep, and then his cameos in this, and he's a huge comics nerd.
Oh, is he?
He's a massive comics nerd. He's got like a Captain America chair in his home. Like he's big on all of it. So I followed him on Twitter, just hoping he would follow me back, and he hasn't.
Well,
just,
maybe he'll follow me. I'll probably see him around town.
Yeah. Probably, yeah.
Yeah, the Detroiters, oddly, I don't know how I didn't see it when it was out, because it's called Detroiters. And you probably don't even know this, but every ad that they were doing was a local Detroit ad. Did you know that?
No, but I figured there must be some sort of connection.
They're all ads from my childhood.
Yeah.
And it's incredible because I know all of them. And then also Mort Krim was on there, and he was our local. I didn't even know he was still alive, honestly.
Is he actually?
Yeah, he was our guy when we were younger. I would have assumed he was dead because he looked that age when I was, 15.
Yeah.
But he's amazing on there.
It's so good. I was really upset because I came to it late, and then, I think after like watching one season, that's when I realized there's only 2 seasons of it. It's like, oh man, there's nothing worse.
I know. Well, I went back to it after I watched I Think You Should Leave, because that's when I was like, I got to see what else he's done. Did you see that Nathan Fielder has a new show coming out?
Yeah. I'm missing. He's doing an interview right now with Tom Sharpling about Tom's new book on Zoom right now. And I decided to miss that to talk to you.
I'm sorry.
Wow. Yeah, that's fine. I just want to help you any way I can.
I know.
The podcast has been limping along, so it is greatly appreciated.
All right,
Although
Ethan.
we did have a big episode recently announcing Vanish. People are very excited about that. Did you see that one, Chip?
Well, I popped into the chat briefly.
Yeah.
On that one. How's that going, Ryan?
It's done. I finished it a long time ago.
You finished it?
Ethan.
Wow.
Talk about something that the people in here are gonna like, that are gonna really juice our numbers.
I've tried to a couple of times. I've tried to bring it back to
let's
comics.
let's juice
And then
these.
you guys keep trying to talk about local politics.
Let's get
or
these
something.
numbers up. Go on.
Yeah. Chip, what? I mean, you're doing other comics, right? What are you doing? You're doing Stillwater, right?
That was a great.
That was
great
really good.
question.
I really wish or Griffin was here right now.
Well, you know, the fact is, whether you wish he were or not, he chose not to be.
There you go.
He chose
John Iker wants to talk about Loki.
Loki.
How much
Are
of
you
Loki
watching
have
that
you
Loki,
watched?
Chip?
Yeah, I've been watching it.
I've only seen one episode and I loved it, and I'm going to watch the rest of it, but I haven't seen it yet. Next topic.
Yeah, great.
What else you got?
Let's go back to Cruella. Chip, rank the live-action Disney remakes.
I'm sick of them, and I think they need to do the opposite. I think they need to take
the
classic.
question. I need you to rank them.
They need to take classic live-action Disney movies and make them into animated movies.
That's more expensive.
I want to see the Black Hole.
Bed knobs and
redone
broomsticks.
Animated movie. Yeah.
What is the Black Hole?
Oh, it's amazing. It's like Anthony Hopkins and Ernest Borgnine on a ship in space, and they run into like this crazy dude on his own weird industrial ship who's like charting a black hole. And
This is a Disney movie?
Yeah, everything goes dark and crazy, and the end, like there's an evil robot henchman. The end of the movie has the bad guy, I think it's Max von Sydow, careening into this black hole, and like it goes all trippy, and then the end of the movie is a close-up of his eyes as he's just kind of looking around, and you pull back.
Telling me the end of the movie?
Yeah, and he's trapped in the robot, his robot henchman, and you pull back even farther, and he's in hell. It's a Disney movie, and it ends with a bad guy in hell, and hell is what's on the other side of the black hole.
And you want them to
make
turn
that
this into a
animated.
2D animated movie?
Yes.
2D?
I would.
What about isometric perspective? The entire thing.
What about? Yeah.
I would accept 3D elements rendered in 2D, like an Iron
What
Giant.
about cell-shaded 3D?
Yeah, that's exactly what I just fucking said.
But no, entirely cell-shaded 3D.
Do you have another question?
No, we don't have any questions.
This guy, Laser Lilac, asks, how does Chip feel?
Yeah, how do you feel?
Well, I don't know. My wife left me, so maybe be more considerate of your question.
Yeah, but that was kind of like an accident.
Her leaving me?
Yeah, you just kind of like messed up, I guess. You can't feel too like we know that you feel like you probably feel like, oh, I'm sad that my wife left, but now I get to play video games all I want, and
I guess it's like like when a marriage falls apart, it's a series of many accidents that just build up, like the Cruella thing. Is that your wife?
Aaron, I told everybody what I did to you last night with the Zelda and Cruella. Well, Chip's wife just left him, so he gets it. They laughed.
Have an alternate side of the story. When you got shit on the couch.
As I was telling it, I realized how bad it sounded. I also told the story about when I got a little bit of poop on the couch from when we had our stomach flu.
Well, that was way far down on the scale of worst things you've done.
Oh, so where does last night rank?
All right. Top 5 worst things.
The worst thing.
They want to know what the worst thing I've done is.
That will probably take some thought.
Yeah, she's gonna have to think about that one.
All right.
What do you
All right.
think?
I'll come back next week.
Probably when I cheated on you and didn't tell you until just now.
I'm trying to think. I feel like if I thought of it right now, you probably wouldn't even want me to say it.
I don't want you to say it. I was worried It looked like you had something at the ready, and I was worried.
I love the idea of I love the idea of a comic artist cheating on their wife because it's just impossible. It's just so. Like, where would you find the time?
Oh my God.
It's just daily, so how can I even?
Oh, get out of here. How dare you?
Chip, if you're in such a fragile emotional state, I don't know why your choice was to come onto this show.
I thought it would take my mind off it. But
Right.
I didn't actually expect Ryan to bring it up.
Ended up deep into it.
I think about people that cheat on their significant other, and it just seems like, can you imagine how much effort that takes? Especially
It's too
if you,
much work.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm already like incompetent at the one relationship I do have.
When I was younger, like in my 20s, like I was married before. I've told you this Vegas wedding in my early 20s.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it didn't last long. But after I got divorced, I was in my 20s. I dated a lot, and I found just like the act of dating multiple people, just way too much. It was so much effort that I can't even get my head around the idea of like being an adult with a wife or kids, responsibilities, and like a job. And
or what about those people that have like secret families?
Like, why would you? It's the worst of both worlds.
Yeah, that's true.
God,
didn't Johnny Cochran have 2 families or something? And unbelievable. Like he was like the world's most high-powered lawyer. I could be making this up, but I think he did.
he's dead, so we can't sue
you.
So
yeah, that sounds insane to me. But it's a good idea for a comic.
Secret families.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys want to do pop culture news?
I guess.
Yeah, might as well.
Okay. All right. Hold on. We actually have the theme. Let me put. I got the theme.
Oh, your theme, great.
Pensando. Thanks to Abigail Mendoza, because Donnie would not give up the name of the theme, and so we had to have a listener find it for us. And this should be it. Oh, hold on. It's a music video. Let me skip to the. That's not it. Hold on. I think it's the hook. I think it's the hook of the song that we're trying to get to. Alright, you know what the theme sounds like. It's pop culture news.
My wife is texting me right now the worst things that I've done to her.
Is there any of it that you can give up?
I'm not giving any of that up. No way.
Wow.
Nothing. She said, she texted me and she said, "You've never done anything bad. You're a perfect husband and you're really hot."
Wow. That's.
I mean, I knew that already.
Wow.
I think that should be our next big special in the vein of the Hot Ones thing that we did, is we just do a big countdown of the worst things that you've ever done.
To your wife, to your friends, to me.
Yeah.
You know.
Number 1 on my list is you bringing up my wife leaving me on your live YouTube show.
Well, but I just thought it would juice the numbers.
That's all he cares about.
People do love when wives leave people.
In my defense, Chip, I was trying to get the ratings up. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, did you guys see there's a new trailer for What If today? Did you see that? Did you watch it?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
All right, you want to go watch it real quick?
No.
Nope.
Okay, well.
Is Jared Leto in it?
Jared Leto is not in it.
Jared Leto in it?
Just skip right to the Let's Go Leto part of pop culture news.
Do you have Leto news again?
No, I don't have Leto news, unfortunately.
All right.
He hasn't done anything crazy this week. But Morbius, the release date for Morbius ticks closer and closer, and I think we should do a whole episode on it.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Ethan, do you
do
you get on the internet? When I get on the internet, I usually go what am I gonna look at? I'm like going to the bathroom or whatever, and it's like, oh, CNN, and then I'm like, oh, what else is there? I don't know. I go to ESPN quickly.
Classic Ryan. What am I going to look at on my phone? I guess CNN.
Yeah. I do CNN. I usually do like a round of CNN. Then I'm like, what are they saying on Fox News? That's the exact opposite. And then I go to ESPN. But Ethan, are you just like, well, I'm bored. I'm going to look up Morbius news.
Yeah, well, no, I have a Google alert set up for Jared Leto.
Okay.
The
and then
news
I follow
comes
a
to
lot.
him.
Yeah, and I follow a lot of Tumblrs and stuff that are devoted to him and whatever he's got going. True story. One time he did like tweet or something that he was like, "Here's my phone number." You know how celebrities do that sometimes? They're like, "Here's my phone number. You should text me." And like it's like okay, is this your real phone? So I did text Jared Leto, and it was like an automated like, "You want tickets to 30 Seconds to Mars?" And I was like, "No." And like every 6 months, I just get a text from that phone number, and it's like, "Hey, it's me, Jared Leto." just reminding you, I got a new single out. And I'm like, I won't listen to that. But I wish he'd text me about Morbius instead, because that's obviously what I want to hear about.
That's how you should do your newsletter from now on, Chip. Hey, text me, and then it's like, hey, I did a new book.
Yeah.
Not bad. It's not bad.
There was actually no. You know what? Never mind. There kind of was tangentially Let's Go Leto news, because there was Morbius news. Tyrese Gibson, who I did not realize was in the Morbius movie, he was asked on some kind of Zoom interview, "Is this movie in the MCU?" Because that's obviously very vague, right? And he like very proudly like was like, "Yes." And they were like, "Really? Like this is in the Avengers? You like that?" Because like he's like 100. Like they were trying to specify that it's definitely the right thing he's talking about. And he was like, "Yes, I can confirm it's in the MCU." And then immediately Sony had to come out after and put out a press release that said, "No, Tyrese Gibson doesn't know what he's talking about. It's not in the MCU." But then they did like a little winky face of like, "But everybody just wait for Spider-Man Far From Home, because that'll clear things up." So Griffin and I are pretty sure that they've snuck in the back door, and that Venom and Morbius are sort of in the MCU.
Can you imagine being on these calls with these two idiots, Chip?
I can't even.
Yeah.
I zoned out halfway through that. Sorry.
You said talk about what the audience wants.
Why are you getting so mad? First of all,
because I'm being defensive now.
You said Spider-Man Far From Home, like Far From Home is one word. Far From Home.
No Way Home is the correct. I forgot that's the new one. They all sound the same. Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was interesting, and I bet 4 people in the audience did too. But whatever.
Chip, I hope you're okay with this. I changed your name tag on here to just let them know that your wife left you, because I want them to know why you're kind of like down in the dumps. I don't want them to worry about you or.
Yeah, I mean, if you could change it to just Chip, single and ready to mingle Starsky, that'd be.
I think I'm going to keep it at wife left him recently.
Yeah. Okay, that works.
All right.
Yeah. That looks good. Do you want more pop culture news, or do you?
Yeah.
Only if you're going to stop yelling at us.
No, I wasn't yelling until you requested pop culture news, and then I gave it to you, and then you were like, "This fucking nerd."
Ethan, just give us some news.
Talk about sports.
Okay, all right. Let me go to ESPN.com.
No, give me some more of your bullshit pop culture.
What I love is that you have an audience that never wants you to talk about sports, but all you want to do is talk about sports.
It's only one sport I want to talk about, and it's the Detroit Pistons, and everything else you can throw out the window.
Let's designate 15 minutes. This is Ryan's Sports Corner. Just get it all out of your system.
2 of our rookies made the USA Select team. One of them made the USA Basketball team. That's amazing. We got the number 1 overall pick. We're going to take Cade Cunningham. It's going to be awesome. Chip's going to come over and watch all the games. I'm going to teach him what basketball is.
Are the Pistons in the MCU? I have to know.
No, but Chip, I want to know this. In an NBA basketball game, how many players do you think are on the court for each team at any given time?
Whew. I mean, that number varies wildly. Depending on the situation, the scenario.
Yeah. I didn't think you'd know that, but you knew it.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Chip, if you had to reflect on the past week in sports, what would you say?
Okay, here's my basketball. Everything I know about basketball is the book I did, Sex Criminals. Our editor was a guy named Tommy K.
Mm-hmm.
Who was like, Matt knew him, and he's just a guy who just like he has a day job, but he just wanted to like edit comics. So we're like, yeah, sure, fine. That's all we need. and when the Raptors got into the finals for the first time, which they eventually won, Tommy K reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, I'm going to be in town. Do you want seats for Game 1
Of the finals?
of the finals?" I was
Holy
like,
shit!
"What?" And it turns out he's like a big producer at ESPN.
Really?
Yeah, and his job is to coordinate like everything. Like he's there in this like massive room with like hundreds of monitors. Like
Oh, he's that guy that like snaps and is like camera 1, camera.
Kind of. There's a few guys that kind of do that, and like he oversees it all. But he's like this like big wig, powerful dude who can like buy and sell both of us. And so he got me for Game 1 and Game 3. And
Chip.
I was sitting
Oh
with
my
like
God.
the players like wives and kids.
Mm-hmm. Tell me more. Mm-hmm.
You know, what's his name? Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like basically sitting with his brother. I guess he was also a
Seth
NBA player.
Curry. Yeah.
Yeah. Him and like their family. And
Aisha.
stuff,
Dell.
probably. I don't know.
Riley Curry's his daughter.
She was probably there too. I was sitting next to them, but I was like just 3 rows back in the corner, and it was really exciting. And also, we got to go out before the game started and hang out courtside.
This is ridiculous.
And watch Steph just dropping threes. That's what they say, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dropping threes.
I like how you had this editor who was like, "Please, can I edit your comic?" And you're like, "Fine, I guess." And then you're like, "I'm never going to ask you anything about your personal life, though." Was he at the game? Was he there? Did you get to meet him in person and everything?
Yeah, no, he gave me the whole tour. Like that's the thing. Like he was touring me around in the back rooms and introducing me to the announcers and players and stuff. So
you were just like, sure, this nerd can edit our book.
And yeah, we got to hang out in the control room too while the game was going.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I mean, that's all I know about basketball is that whenever I want, I can just go to the best games at any time.
This is a great question from Cameron F. Did you offer the family members your autograph? That is hilarious. Great job, Cameron F.
This is pretty good. No, I did take a picture with like some. I don't know his name, but he's like a big announcer for the games because his kid was into comics, and so
Mike Breen.
I think that's it.
Of course, he would be doing the finals. Yeah.
Yeah, I think his son. I think was like an intern at Marvel at some point.
Oh, really? That's cool. That would make
There's
sense.
Some sort of connection.
Yeah.
So
he's the New York Knicks announcer, so he's probably from New York.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we went down a cool sports path there.
We lost all our viewers.
Yeah. Oh, we're down to. We need to juice the numbers more. Chip, what do you miss most about your wife?
I miss her smile. I miss her smile. She would laugh and smile as she'd watch me on these podcasts.
You got another 5 lined up tonight, right?
Yeah. That's the only way to fill the void. No,
somebody said we should.
Look, I just want to be. Sorry, I just want to be clear. My wife has not left me.
Okay. We could still sign you up for Tinder.
Do you ever want? I kind of want to be able to get on Tinder just to see what it's like, but not to actually do anything.
Even that kind of stresses me out. Like I was out with a couple of friends. We were. I'm trying to think where we were. I think we were in Vancouver. We were traveling for a show, and it was a gay couple, and they were both on Tinder, just like swiping. Mm-hmm. Like they're just looking for some action together, and I would just stand over the shoulder and I'd say yes or no, and they would just like say yes or no to all these dudes. And I'm just like, this is wild.
Yeah.
Like just how quickly and superficial it is too. Like I mean, I was around for like. Have you met her yet?
Yes.
You've met your fiance on Tinder?
I did. Oh. Been together 4 years. Yeah.
It's really nice.
It was brutal. It was the worst time of my life. We talk about it all the time because for me it was like It's like, oh, it's been 4 days. I got another match. But apparently for her, it just never stopped. It was just a constant influx of matches. Like it would just be me and my friends just sitting around, just being like, "You matched anybody today?" And they're like, "Fuck no, you matched anybody today?" And like, just brutal, horrible, the worst thing in the world.
Yeah,
Got
it's
lucky.
bad. It's bad. Ryan, if your wife leaves you, would you sign up for that like a site that's just for like celebrities and rich people?
Yeah, sure. If my wife left me,
you would do well because you're tall. All of the bios say like, don't swipe right at me unless you're over 6 foot. It's like like that's a thing that you see just constantly. You'd do great. You'd clean up, Ryan.
you know, I don't want to say whether I would or I wouldn't, but I definitely would.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
So Hugh Jackman, he posted on his Instagram a picture of him and Kevin Feige, and then some fan art of Wolverine. So people are like, is the 70-year-old Hugh Jackman coming back as Wolverine? Potentially.
Well, first of all, did Kevin Feige draw fan art to give to Hugh Jackman? Is that what happened?
It could have been. He didn't specify.
Was it good?
I don't know. I didn't see it. I just read about it.
In-depth report.
Chip's cutting out.
Good.
Chip's got that West Coast internet going on.
Chip.
I think we'll just have to drop him.
I'm glad. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's gone.
Can you hear me now?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if you lean closer to the camera, the connection strengthens.
Nope.
He's coming in more consistent.
Now he's frozen.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Stay like that.
Hugh Jackman, eh?
Comic Pop
Yeah,
says, Comic Pop says, I love these transitions and the stony silence afterwards. Thank you.
Yeah. Can I just like give a peek behind the curtain of this wonderful show we're putting on? Is that Ryan will be like, "Hey, Chip's on the show tomorrow," and then we'll be like, "Oh shit!" And then the day of, Ryan will be like, "What do you guys think we should talk to Chip about?"
Amazing.
And then Ethan wrote back and said, well, has his wife left him yet? And I was like, actually.
Yeah. That'll easily fill an hour. Can't see it. Nobody can see it, but Chip's sending a lot of little emojis through. It's crazy that Comic Pop is in the audience because they they do really well produced YouTube shows.
Yeah, they're an actual show which they prepare.
Yeah, they look a lot cleaner than this.
Comic Pop, if you have any advice for us, put it in the comments. I'm just...
Yeah, how do we do it?
What can I do better? I think I'm trying my best.
No, you're not. You're absolutely not. Like, you just... The story that was just told was about you not trying at all.
Yeah, but I read Crossover. The book that you created.
What'd you think?
Yeah, of course I liked it. Cool. The art was really good.
Uh-huh.
I liked the art, I liked the inks, and I liked the colors, and the letters were good too.
Yeah, the staples. You like the staples?
I like the staples. I liked the paper. I didn't read it on paper. I read it on a PDF that Chip sent me.
True.
I think that...
Chip, do you have any more life stories in you? You got any other life stories? I really like that format. Are you doing more of those? What do you got?
No.
Okay. No, he says no.
Tell us a funny story about your life. I already made you tell the story on here, right? Where you got sick from the sun when you... Yeah, I think I did make you tell that one. When you were at Toronto Fan Expo outside being dragged around on a cart.
Yeah, told that one. Yeah, I don't have anything, guys. I just don't.
Have you ever ridden a horse?
When I was a kid, because I grew up in Alberta.
Did it knock you off?
No, I just stayed on the horse.
Did you accidentally go behind it and it like did that thing where it kicks you? Did it like shit a bunch when you were standing right near it? No. What about?
Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking going forward, we should get some people on the show that you don't know, Ryan.
Why?
So that you haven't already talked to them about everything.
Ethan,
there's things left to talk.
Listen. I'm doing a great job here. Chip, have you ever had?
I think with Chip.
Hold on, listen.
I think with Chip, there's nothing left to say.
Chip, have you ever had surgery?
Yes.
Have you ever had surgery?
I've had 2 surgeries, both on my testicles.
What happened?
All right, so when you were born and you are a cis male, some people don't know this, but like your testicles don't drop right away. It happens over time. And so by the time I was like 5 or 6, it still hadn't happened. So my boys were up inside my body.
So you just had like a empty sack.
Yeah, just an empty sack. That's what the doctor said. You got a case of empty sack, kid. And so we got to get you into the emergency room stat. Get those boys down. So they did, and it didn't work. So when I was 8, 9, they had to do it again. And what they do is like I have scars, but the scars are like above my penis. And they kind of make an X, like X-Men. So it's a little bit cool because they had to go in and they had to go in and push them down. And then they had to sew them to the bottom of my nutsack with like a little button. So I had stitches where it was like a little button on the bottom of my testicles.
Like a sweater button?
Yeah, to keep to hold them down long enough for them to like, almost like stretching out a hat to keep them down long enough so they'll stay down. So
is that?
Yeah, I have that thing where they suck up.
Well, that's the thing. Like I'm always in danger of them going back. I'm constantly in danger of them going back.
Is that true?
Like this is true. I mean, depending on weather, because if it's cold out, they'll want to retreat a bit, right? But a lot of times in the moment of like the moment of orgasm for me, that's when they want to get close. So a lot of times what I have to do is like when I'm just about to have a male orgasm, they call it.
That is what they call it.
I gotta reach and I gotta hold them down. I gotta hold them down, make sure they don't go into my body as I ejaculate.
Right.
So I gotta make sure they don't go back into my body.
Right.
Because I can't afford to go to the hospital again as a grown man.
So we've crossed the hour mark. I'm going to take us out.
No, hold on. Chip, have you ever been in a fist fight?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
I've been in a couple, and they were in grade school.
Right.
And both of them, I was being pestered by bullies, and then I blacked out, and I woke up with their blood on me.
Oh, that's so rad.
It's the worst.
That's pretty cool.
It's the worst. And I would break down crying afterwards, and my nose would always start bleeding. Like I'd black out, I'd come to, my nose is bleeding, even though I wasn't punched in the nose, and this other kid's just been destroyed, because I was super tiny too, and so I'd just like go wild like a Wolverine or whatever, and there'd just be blood everywhere, and I swore I would never do that again.
You promised your parents you would never fight again, and now you just get your ass kicked all the time.
It's basically, I'm like a Bruce Banner that just refuses to turn into the Hulk no matter what. Got it really under control, and he just gets the shit kicked out of him all the time.
Ethan, have you ever been in a fist fight?
No.
Really?
No, I never have.
I moved from Pennsylvania to Michigan in 3rd grade, and I was like a spree puncher.
A spree puncher?
Like,
was that?
I was getting bullied because I was the new kid, and the kid that lived down the street from me, like, I lived in this subdivision that was pretty small, and there was like really only one other kid, and my parents were like, "Be his friend. You need friends." And he was a monster who was like a super bully, and so he would cause all these. Basically, my whole life was just getting bullied. And then my dad noticed that I was like getting bullied. So his solution was to teach me how to fight. And then I was just unbeatable. I think that if at that age, if you're willing to...
You were unbeatable.
Yeah, because here's the thing. They would bully, but they didn't know how to fight. And they also they weren't used to getting punched. Like, people would... Nobody was willing to throw a punch. They just wanted to, like, get up. So as soon as you punched somebody, it was like the fight was over and you had already won. And I did that. The last time I punched somebody was in 6th grade, and it was basically just a 3-year spree of me just punching people over and over, getting suspended, getting sent to the principal's office. It was really great.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a cool note to end us on.
I didn't say we're ending it.
See, I haven't been in a fist fight, but my testicles do actually suck up, and they get stuck in my abdomen.
Is that true?
Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Does that happen simultaneously while you shit yourself?
No, I don't.
Like, something goes up, something comes out?
No, it's unrelated. But I do have to push them back down. They're like.
How do you push them back down?
By like pushing on.
I hate this podcast.
Yeah,
I hate this show.
This is gonna be Ryan Stegman and his amazing bodily functions. It's gonna be what this one will be called. Listen, Chip, I want to congratulate you because you were here for what many consider our best episode, which was the Chip Z and his real friends episode, and now you've been here for our worst, and I want to thank you for that.
I think this is that bad.
This is not Dennis Hopeless.
I mean,
the hopeless one. This is the first one to come close to the hopeless episode.
Like, you could have prepped a little bit better. That's all. I mean, it happens to all of us. I think I'm an amazing guest, but these things happen.
I mean, you brought whatever it is that you bring to the show.
We got a super chat. We got a $4.99 from Aaron Goforth, who says, "Chip, the end of Stillwater 7 hooked me on the series, and Crossover 7 is the first issue I picked up since I gave up on issue 3, and it was great." He had to put in that he gave up on issue 3.
Why do people do that? I don't know. Like, when my issue came out, like, I got a lot of, like, dumbass comments like that. Sorry, I know you're a super user or whatever, but come on.
You know what?
What happened in issue 3?
You know what I'm gonna do with that $5? Buy copies of issue 4 through 7. 4 through 6.
Because you could actually get them all because they're all in the dollar bin now.
Yeah, because it's a huge flop of a book.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for listening.
Best one yet. Best night of my life, says 7 Heads, 10 Crowns. Thank you.
That's great.
Chip, tell me about the meanest thing your mom ever said to you.
Oh my god.
Sorry. I gotta go because I gotta cook dinner for my in-laws because I'm staying with them. It's complicated.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for listening to Stegman and his amazing friends. This was a good show. We appreciate you dropping by. Follow everybody.
Pick up the energy.
Ryan's at Ryan Stegman. I'm at Tails to.
We gotta juice the numbers.
Fucking Twitter.
Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? Go to SheridanandSmith.com. You can find the Patreon and the merch and all that stuff there. We really appreciate the help. This show is part of a network called the Amazing Friends Podcast Network, which also features a show that starring Dominic Cates and Megan Hutchison.
Another super chat.
Married, and they do
$5 from Comet. Chip put in work to add confirmed secret siblings for Spider-Man and Daredevil. What other superheroes would you like to give secret siblings?
He paid money, so I have to answer. Right?
Yeah, you have to answer, and it has to be a good answer. If it's a bad answer, you have to pay him triple what he paid you.
I guess like a sibling for the watcher who just listens.
That's you owe him. You owe him $45 now.
The show will just keep going.
This show can't end if you guys keep super chatting us. That's a fact.
I am fucking out of here.
Everybody put chains in the chat if you think that I tried really hard to get this show on the tracks several times. Anyway, other shows in the network: Devil's Advocates Book Club with Donnie Cates and Megan Hutcherson Cates. They do a book club show. It's great. Crown Jewel of the network, Supple Boys, best show. Check that out as well. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next time. Ryan, what's the catchphrase of the show?
Do you want to do it, Chip?
Push down your nuts.
Keep those nuts in the sack.
Keep those nuts in the sack until next week.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right, I'm stopping recording.